Blessings to you all. Welcome to GSU by BSU podcast series, where we're going to sit here and talk about the true perspective of a black student. This is the voice of President Terrence Lee Jr., and I'm going to give you guys the real opinion of Governor State University. Now, before I get down into it, let me tell you guys the purpose of why I'm doing this podcast series and why it's going to be a season long, and it's going to be almost all year, guys. Actually, we're gonna kick it out for the whole entire year, and we're gonna push this out for you guys. And let me tell you the purpose why. Let's look at the numbers we have in front of me. So right now, I'm looking at the fall 2017 student demographics, and this statistic and file I have right here in front of me, it gives the rubric of pretty much everything from the full-time equivalent enrollment to the total student head count to like the total credit hours, ever in 2017 of fall. So as I look down onto the paper, I see something that is very astonishing, and I pretty much knew already. But as I scroll down into it, I see all students, right? So this school is made up of 54.9% of minority race ethnicity students. 38% of those students are African American or black, and that's from all students, right? So as I look more down into the numbers, I can see that about 66.6% of them are female, and that's pretty cool too. Power to the women, all the beautiful queens out there that's working hard in school. And no, I'm not a hotep. I just think you guys are some queens, and I cherish you everywhere you walk. Now with those numbers, you do see something that's pretty different from it, that from all students, the average age about 30.9. So that's unrelatable for me because I'm 20 years old, and being that age gap, that's the average of what all students are for Governor State University. And that's like including everything, is if you're online class or not, commuter, person stay on campus. But let's get down to the nitty gritty and let's talk about the youth. Youth is power, that we all know. And as I look, as all freshmen on the fall 2017 student demographic paper, I see that about 81.9% of Governor State students are made up with minorities. Now, 69.3% of them are black. As a black student president, I want to give that unity to all the black students to be able to have a voice. I want to help grow the community of Governor State University, and by growing that community, I want to speak to the majority. If you're a black student and you're interested in Black Student Union, please join us. And I want to give you guys the perfect platform to be able to express your voice and how you experience Governor State University. With so many students, I want to give you guys a general 4 topics of discussion that you will be able to express yourself with on this podcast series. Of course, I will be leading the way, and I will give you guys the actual rubrics of what you're going to do as far as what topic of discussion you're going to cover, but it's going to consist around 4 simple things. So the very first one is going to be the caucasity. Now, the caucasity, though may sound inflammatory, is only the honest and serious opinion of what a black person experiences when they encounter subtle racism or unacknowledged racism. Now, when I say unacknowledged racism, it's something like this. Hey, there go that kid over there. Who are you talking about? Oh no, he's tall. You see him? That black kid? That's not so bad, right? But when you go up into the kid and try to introduce yourself, you do this certain thing as a white person. Even some minorities, I may take offense of it, but you change your ebonics on thing. I feel that when you change your ebonics on words and try to slur it to make it seem like it's more relatable, you don't understand where it's coming from. And that's mean you're trying to address me in a certain way that is unlike your culture. If you be yourself, then you already my friend. But when you try to use ebonics and slang and try to sway yourself of being more like a friend because you're doing something that's uncommon to you or doing something that you see me doing, doesn't make you a true friend. So you got to understand what you're doing is subtle racism, and I take full offense of everything that you're doing right now. So with the caucasity, it's going to be something simple like that, and I'm just going to express to you and show knowledge of why you shouldn't do that and why I take full offense of that. it's not going to be something that's going to be attacking you. You have the opportunity to come on this platform as well, and we can have a debate, a talk, and understanding of why you do it. And we're going to truly get down into interviews when we bring up the caucasity, because it's subtle racism or a lot of racism that I do experience. And the best way to experience it is understanding why you do it. So that way, when you know why and you see how I feel, we can find a way of compromising and looking past our differences and understanding, and that causes more unity when you have more knowledge. And that goes for all races. Everybody will have the opportunity to sit there and express why they do it. Now, this is sanctioned for the Black Student Union, and this is going to be something from the Black perspective, and you are going to be the recipient of the rebuttal to why you're doing it, of reasoning. If you feel like you don't want to, you don't have to. But if you have that enough courage, just come on to the Black Student Union meeting, sign up, let us know, and we'll be open arms to accept anybody who have the courage to do a rebuttal to what we have explained in certain videos or podcasts. Now, the second one is going to be something not so similar to caucasity, but it's going to be a realistic perspective. So the next one is going to be on the real. On the Real is basically giving you the experience of a college student going through his everyday today at Governor State University. So, I'm going to cover Perry Place. I'm going to cover things like the cafe, arena. I'm going to cover places like this classroom itself, the certain major, what I'm experiencing and how I feel about it. Now, it's going to be more pros than the cons, because if it wasn't, I wouldn't be at this university, but it's going to be cons into it too. That way you can understand what we are experiencing, and that way it's no idea of why this isn't changed. This is a perfect example of why it's going wrong for me, why I'm not liking it, and why I'm not really digging it. And this is going to help us out, because this is going to grow pride for the students, and this is going to give something that the administrative can actually listen to and understand where we're coming from. That way it's no walls up and no misunderstanding of why we feel in this way. And that way we're not sitting here saying, what's the ideas, but here's the problem, and can you please give me a solution? There should be no more question about why I'm not getting this certain education or why I'm not having this sense of pride, because you already know what's not connecting with me. So that being said, I'm gonna lead on to the third one. The third one is going to be on blast. This is going to be a spotlight for all students, and it's going to basically give the spotlight to students to be able to first tell us about themselves, and it's going to be something that students can actually walk up to and be like, look, I want to be on blast. Well, on blast, I'm gonna introduce you who you are, and it's going to be a pretty much an interview with a student. That way you guys can understand who are the people walking around you, and it's not no bridge or barrier. If you heard this person on blast, then you're gonna be like, yo, how you doing? I heard a little bit of information about you. We got like minds, and it's gonna be perfect. With that happening, it's gonna bring unity. I love seeing people get to know each other, and it's not everybody on the phones. Come on, millennials, we got to step up. We got to actually understand who we are around. And now that I'm on your phone, that way you can look up and see who are you talking to, because you could just use headphones now, and you ain't got to sit there and look at a video. I'm in your ears. The Black culture is beautiful and very artistic, and I want to give the opportunity to show that and hear it through voice. So I'm gonna give people opportunities to sit there and get interviews personally from me, and they will be able to put their music or their anything they have that's artistically founded, or even if you're a basketball player, athlete, you'll be able to have the platform to express yourself and use that and tell us what's going on and how you created that and what made you come up with so much of this beautiful sound or that beautiful move, or what made you who you are today. And this is catered for the artistic people. So if you have any material, if you're a spoken word, if you play basketball, if you play volleyball, if you sit there and do spoken word, if you even have nice speeches, a good public speaker, come on out to our show, express how you did that and what that got to you. And I'm gonna give you guys plenty of questions, and we're gonna have good conversations. Everything on this podcast is gonna be student made. Nothing's gonna be sit there being fabricated from any faculty members. All of this is gonna be an honest opinion from a student perspective. I made this to do something for our students because we don't really have a voice. We do have Student Senate, and I wish everybody would go to it, but we're just not big enough. We're not the biggest picture, and everyone don't really know who we are as a Student Senate. And even still, our voice isn't heard. So being able to have a podcast will ultimately give us a perfect platform to talk straight to the administrator, let them hear us, and they will try their best to change what's going on. If you're administrative and brave enough and want to sit there and talk on this podcast, I would love for you to come in and tell us who you are, what you're about. Please give us that avenue to know that we are on one lane. Show us that we're on one lane. Because as a student at Governor State University, it is a lot of things that do really disrupt with me being able to educate myself. I don't feel at home when I'm at Governor State University. And I know I'm speaking for a lot of students by saying this. I just want to sit there and be able to have pride in my school, be able to talk about it. And I also want to have the opportunity to say, yeah, I go to Governor State, and someone know who I'm talking about or what I'm talking about when I say Governor State. GSU by BSU is a beautiful meaning on why we should grow. And us making the majority as Black students, we have to take pride into the university that we at. And with this platform, everyone will be able to sit there and express their voice. If you appreciate the music, this is my cousin, Dubove. You'll hear a lot of his sounds on this podcast. If you feel that you do want to come on and make some music for this podcast, let me know. I'm going to be able to put your music on here. So if you have a good instrumental or any type of music you want to play in the background, I will let you do that. Listen, everything that's made on here is by the student. So the more you put in, the better outcome and quality we have. Thank you for supporting BSU. By listening to this, you are really help us give our voice out. If you want to show everybody, share this, please. We're going to be on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, all that. And every time you guys on here, please give your honest feedback. What changes should be made? We need this. This is our platform, students of Governor State University. And if you're not even at Governor State University, please give your feedback as well. We are open to everybody across the world, global, everything. Governor State University is on a movement, and we're going to express our voice the best way we can. Listen, thank you guys for listening out to this podcast. Be tuned for the next episode, which is going to be The Real. With The Real, it's going to cover the Perry Place. And if everybody don't know what the Perry Place is, well, you're going to find out next video. Sorry for the short introduction about myself, but you're going to learn to know who I am as the president of BSU more and more. You're going to get my voice all the time, every week. Tune back in for GSU by BSU. Thank you for listening, and I'm gonna let the beat ride out for a little bit of the rest. You heard?